Welcome back to another episode of the Hunt Fish Live podcast. Hope you all are doing great and getting some time in the woods or on the water. I just wrapped up my first weekend of my Rutcation, and man, it finally felt like deer season. We had our first frosty sit of the year, breath hanging in the air, crunchy leaves, the whole deal. And to top it off, I had an encounter with a big buck. Not close enough to seal the deal, but close enough to get the heart racing. In this episode, I'm going to break down that hunt, talk through what I saw this weekend, and how I'm planning to adjust as things start heating up this week. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's talk deer hunting. Well, the weekend started out amazing. I took Friday off to head down to Indiana with Corey. He decided he was going to pick me up. I have never ridden with anybody down there, so I jumped at the opportunity to hitch a ride and carpool. It was a lot of fun, but anyway, he called me Friday morning before he picked me up, and was like, "Hey, man, I'm kind of sick. Not feeling the greatest. I think I'm gonna stay home, or let's drive separately." And I talked him into going fully. I was like, just get some meds, cough medicine, cold medicine, and and you'll be fine. So he did that. He picked me up. We headed down. We got down about 1 o'clock. And we're able to get set up, or not get set up, but get everything unpacked and get everything in the house and relax a little bit before we headed out hunting. Steve was already down there, so he was just hanging out waiting for us. We ended up getting out about 3 o'clock to go hunt for a while. We had a west wind, a pretty stiff west wind. I went to the backfield stand where I've hunted before. We had been seeing a lot of deer on our camera back there, and they were gone for a few days, so I figured Friday was the day they were coming back. It was a decent night. The wind was a little much, but they're used to wind on the farm in the area, so that was my idea. Walked in, got to the tree stand, and the does that lived behind the tree stand and thick stuff took off, and they were never seen again. Sat there all night and saw some deer moving across the street from south to north and north to south. There's some power lines across the street, and they were going between the two patches of wood through the CRP grass. So they usually do that. You can watch them most of the day going back and forth. I don't think there's much hunting pressure back there, so they pretty much have free will to do whatever they want. It started to get dark. I wasn't seeing anything, and I ended up getting down before it was dark, just so I didn't get stuck up in the stand with deer all around me like I've been before, because that kind of sucks. So get back to the house and made some burgers. Steve and I watched a movie. Corey went to bed. He didn't feel good, and set our alarms for early Saturday morning. Steve and I got up. Corey was still sick, didn't want to get up and go hunting, so Steve and I went out, got up, took a shower, had some breakfast or some food, and made my way to the stand. As I'm heading to my tree stand, I was going to hunt a stand that's like 50 yards away from one of my cameras out there, right on the same like line basically, and they parallel each other. So, unfortunately, but fortunately, on my way out, I had got notifications on my phone that my camera was going off, and there was deer in front of my camera. So, there's still the corner's still up. So I made it to the parking where we usually park on the corner, in between two cornfields, and sat there for a few minutes and tried to play the game. All right, are these deer here or not? And sat there 15 minutes or so, got out of the truck, grabbed my stuff, headed to the tree stand, and I rounded the corner to go to the stand, and there's a deer standing right there where I was hoping that they weren't going to be. And I think it was a doe. That's what was on the camera anyway. So it ran off. It wasn't spooked or anything that I could tell. It didn't blow, stomp, or nothing. So it was still dark out. Got up in the stand, got my camera set up, got my bow up, got everything ready to go, and waited for daylight. So daylight comes along. It was really calm Saturday morning down there. It was a beautiful morning. It was kind of chilly, but calm. So you could hear literally everything. The grass is a little wet and so are the leaves, but you still hear walking and crunching. About 9 o'clock or so, I look up. I was watching the woods, and I decided to turn my head and look to the east, where the cornfields come together, and there was a doe standing right there. So I kind of hid myself behind the leaves of the tree branches so it wouldn't see me, and I guess it saw me a little bit, but I really couldn't tell what it was. This knew something was up, so it ended up turning back and going the other way into the corn, never to be seen again. So I was watching that way, and all of a sudden, in the same strip of grass between the cornfields, I see antlers. I'm like, oh man, here comes a good one. And I decided to grunt at it. It kind of got hung up, so I was like, I'm going to grunt and see what we can do. It should be this time of year, perfect time of year for grunting and rattling. So I grunted, and for some reason, it decided that it was going to go the other direction. So it kind of bounded away. Tail wasn't up or anything, but I had lost my opportunity at that deer. I gave it another hour or so and decided that I needed to go check on my buddy Corey, who wasn't feeling the greatest. So I headed back and checked on him. Needless to say, he still wasn't feeling any better and wanted to go home. I can't blame him. I would probably have done the same thing. But it only stunk because he was my ride, and I didn't get to hunt down there for the rest of the weekend. But the guys are texting me right now. Tyler and Josh are down on the farm hunting. So that's what the buzzing is. It's them texting. They're just heading out for the afternoon. So they're down there. I'm going back on Thursday morning. Corey's going back Wednesday, and Jeff is heading down tomorrow at some point. The Tyler and Josh, I think, are leaving tomorrow or Wednesday. But yeah, but I will be back down there soon for Rutcation Part 2. We headed home, and I spent the rest of the day hanging out with family and getting ready for the time change. Time changed Saturday night into Sunday morning. Around here, the time went from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock to 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So normal people gained an hour of sleep. Hunters lost an hour of sleep. But yeah, so I decided I was hunting from home today, or Sunday, and wanted to hit up one of my favorite spot that I had thought was going to do be great. Headed out around 6:45, I think. Got there just as it was getting light, and I knew right where I was going. So I walked in. I was gonna check a tree that had a bunch of whatchamacallits. Had a couple scrapes around it, and I thought to myself, if those scrapes have been hit recently, I am going to hunt there. So that's what I did. I walked in. They were freshened up and used rather recently, so I didn't have to go any further. The area is, or like the location of the scrapes is pretty close to the road, about 80 yards from the road, and close to the parking spot. So it's a pretty easy sit. There's a tree there that I like to get into. It's perfect. I can get 11 feet off the ground, 10, 11 feet off the ground, and be completely hidden because of the backdrop. So, got set up, and I was in there for the long haul. I think I got set up probably 7:30, 8 o'clock, and hunted till 11:30 or so, almost 12, and did not see a thing, didn't hear a deer, didn't see a deer, nothing. And so I'm sitting there, and I realize that it is probably because the area, that parking spot and that area of the state land is hunted heavily. I decided that all the deer are nocturnal, and they will never not be nocturnal because there's so many people driving through and so many people hunting it. So I didn't see anything, and gave up on that spot. So I left. I hunted for quite a while, like I said, and it was definitely my longest sit of the year. Left disappointed, and left with some excitement and eagerness to go find another spot. I don't know when the next time I'll get to hunt. Probably late season, later in November, probably December. So I've got tags in Michigan. I've got tags in Indiana. So I'll be leaving in a couple days to go on my Rutcation part 2, and I'll be there for a few days, a few more days than normal. So it's my big hunting trip of the year. Hopefully I can put one down, and you guys will be the probably like 5th people to know. The 5th to know about it. I've got my wife and, everyone. So maybe 7th. I don't know. We'll see. But until then, though, just got to stay focused, stay ready, and get prepared for this long hunt coming up. We have a pretty good cold front coming through this weekend with a chance of snow here in Michigan Sunday night. But the temperature is going to take a huge drop here and in Indiana, so it could get exciting. We've been noticing more bucks moving day after day, and things are starting to ramp up, definitely, as far as rut-wise goes. So we're pumped. I'm pumped. I cannot wait to get back out into the tree stand. That brings us to the conclusion of this episode of the Hunt, Fish, Live podcast. While you're waiting for the rut to kick in your next deer hunt, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave me a comment. Let me know how your deer season is going. Thank you again for listening, everybody. I cannot wait to share this next hunt with you guys. Take care.